A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. So analysis of Suratul Baqarah, ayah number 29. Let's begin. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Huwa allazi khalaqa lakum ma fil ardi jami'a. So huwa is a independent pronoun, and as soon as independent pronoun comes, it becomes mubtada and it starts a new sentence. So huwa will become your mubtada. So allazi is ism mawsool, as I put this line here, and ism mawsool always needs sila. Sometimes sila comes in the form of a complete sentence, and this sentence could be jumla ismiya, could be jumla fe'liya. And sometimes sila comes in the form of shibul jumla, and shibul jumla mean either a special mudaf fragment or jar majroor fragment. So remember, these are the two forms of sila. So let's see what we got here. So allazi is ism mawsool. Khalaqa, you see I put this line here. So allazi is ism mawsool, and this khalaqa lakum ma fil ardi jamiya, this is the sila part. Okay, and we know that mawsool and sila, wherever they go together. In this case, Mawsul allazi and sila khalaqa lakum ma fil ardi jamiya, together, you see Mawsul and sila together, they are becoming the khabar. Now look at this one. What is the status of khabar? Rafa. So we'll say that this jumla, this is a Mawsul and sila, they are fi mahalli rafa. Why? Because this Mawsul and sila is playing the role of khabar. For who? For this huwa. So huwa is mubtada, allazi is a Mawsul, khalaqa lakum ma fil ardi jami'a sila, Mawsul, sila together, khabar. Now let's go inside the sila part to see what we got in the sila bucket. So khalaqa is fail madi, number one, it has a built-in file huwa. Lakum, jar majroor, it will be muta'alliq bil khalaqa. Ma fil ardi. Now, what is the ma fil ardi doing here? Look at this one, because this ma, there are different types of ma. Now, here this ma is a mawsool, and it has its sila fil ardi. You know why? Because I just mentioned sila can appear in two forms, either a complete sentence or a shibul jumla. In this case, ma is a mawsool and fil ardi sila. What is in the earth? So you see, khalaqa, he created. He created what? Ma fil ardi, what is in the earth. You see, this ma fil ardi, which is a mawsool and sila fragment. Ma is a mawsool, fil ardi sila. This mawsool sila fragment is giving you the information of what? Khalaqa, he created. He created what? And this what is being answered by this mawsool sila, ma fil ardi. That is why I put here, that is ma fil ardi is fi mahalli nasab maf'ul number 1. For who? For this khalaqa. You see, and why did I call it fi mahalli? Always remember, when mawsool and sila together plays a role, we use the word fi mahalli, and then whatever role it plays, we put it next fi mahalli, because now it played the role of maf'ul, and maf'ul is in nasab status. So fi mahalli nasab maf'ul number 1. So inside this sila bucket, khalaqa, fail and file, lakum is muta'alliq bil fail, and ma fil ardi is fi mahalli nasab. What about jami'an? You can clearly see that jami'an is a ism in nasab status, and we know that in jumla failiya, and this khalaqa, this sila bucket is a jumla failiya. So khalaqa was fail, and this jami'an is the maf'ul. Why? Because it is ism in nasab status. Now let's summarize the whole sila bucket. Inside this sila bucket, you have khalaqa as fail and file, lakum as muta'alliq bil fail, which fail? Khalaqa, and ma fil ardi is itself a mawsool sila clause, and this mawsool sila clause is the maf'ul. Why? It is fi mahalli nasab for khalaqa, because this ma fil ardi gave you the information of what he created, and this jami'an is also a maf'ul. So this was the explanation of what we have in the sila bucket. Now look at this cluster thing, Khalaka, from Khalaka all the way till Jamiya, it was a sila bucket. It was the whole sila. Inside the sila, you see, Mafil Ardi was itself a Mosul sila. So sometimes you have this things within, like something bigger, and then within the bigger thing, small thing. Okay, so in a nutshell, huwa is mubtada, allazi is a mausul, khalaqa lakum ma fil ardi jamiya, sila, mausul and sila together is becoming the khabar. And if you like, you will call it fi mahalli rafa. Why? Because mausul and sila together, I just mentioned, when whatever the role they play, we mention it by saying fi mahalli. So it is in the role of khabar, and khabar is in rafa status. So you can say that this is a mausul allazi, and it's sila khalaqa lakum ma fil ardi jamiya. Mausul and sila together is khabar, and it is fi mahalli rafa. Right? So this was the first part. Let's translate it. Huwa, he, and now you can put is amar. So he is allazi, the one who khalaqa created, lakum for you, ma fil ardi, whatever is in the earth, jami'a, all together. Jami'a means all together. So he is the one who created for you everything or whatever is in the earth. Okay, this jami'a, you see this jami'a, even if this jami'a was not here, please pay attention. Even this jami'a was not here, it was still enough that he is the one who created for you ma fil ardi, what is in the earth. But jami'a is making it more emphatic, right? So because jami'a means everything, all together, all included. Okay, now summa is ataf, istiwa. So summastawa. So this part istiwa. Okay, this part, it is fail madi, it has a built-in file huwa. Okay, ila harf jar, as-samai majroor. So this jar majroor will be called muta'alliq. Muta'alliq bil hu, muta'alliq bil istiwa. So summa, then, istiwa, he. Now this istiwa is translated in different ways depending on where it appears. So summa stawa, and then he become istiwa ila samai, towards the sky. So here, if you look at the translation, they translated, then he directed, then he turned his direction towards who? Towards the sama. Summa stawa ila samai, then he directed towards the sky. Fasawwahunna, fa is ataf, sawwa fail madi, it has built-in file huwa. Hunna, hunna is an attached pronoun which will play the role of maf'ul. So sawwa is fail and file, and hunna is the maf'ul. Fasawwahunna, this sawwa is being used to give the meaning of to make some, even though we know that halaka is to make some, jala or halaka is used, but this time, depending on the context, they translated the word sawwa as made. Fasawwahunna, so he made them. So he made them. So what is this them? Sab'a samawat, 7 skies. Now this sab'a samawatin, I said it is badal. Okay, badal for who? For this hunna, because you said fasawwahunna. So he made them. He made them. What is this them? Sab'a samawatin. So that's why I said this sab'a samawatin, 7 skies. It is the badal for this hunna. Okay. So fasawwahunna sab'a samawatin. So then he made them, and then comma, 7 skies. Why I put comma here? So you can see that this sab'a samawatin is the replacement. It is the badal. It is the substitute for hunna. So summa stawa ila samai, then he directed towards the sky, and he made them 7 skies. Okay. Next one. Wow is ataf, which means that this wow is connected between the previous subject and the coming one. Huwa, again, huwa will become the mubtada. I just mentioned that when you have independent pronoun, it becomes your mubtada. So huwa will become mubtada. Ba is jar, kulli shay'in is majroor. So jar majroor fragment. Bikulli shay'in is a jar majroor fragment. We call it muta'alliq. Muta'alliq bil who? Let's see. Alimun is the khabar. So huwa is the mubtada and alimun is the khabar, and this bikulli shay'in is the muta'alliq bil khabar. And inside of, because ba was jar, kulli shay'in was in the majroor bucket, but kulli shay'in itself is a special mudaf and mudaf ilay. Okay, don't forget this one. Now notice one point here. Bikulli shayin should be at the end, because muta'alliq bil khabar should be at the end, but it has come earlier, which will create the meaning of exclusivity. Okay, wahuwa, or emphasis. Wahuwa bikulli shayin alim, and he is the knower of everything, or you can say he is the complete knower of everything. Wahuwa, so wahuwa bikulli shayin alim. Now, obviously, if you simply translate it, it means that, and he is knowing of all things. But you see that this bikulli shay'in, all things, has come earlier than expected. Why? Because normal sequence was huwa mubtada, then alimun khabar, and then bikulli shay'in, right? But bikulli shay'in, which is muta'alliq bil khabar, has come earlier, and when this thing happens, your sentence becomes emphatic. So even though you can translate it, وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ alim, and he is knowing of all things, you can put some word in the translation to capture this expression that bikulli shayin has come earlier than expected, and he is fully knowing of everything. Now this word fully is not here. Why I put it? Because mutalliq bil khabar was earlier than expected.